Imagine walking home on a normal day, with no warning that your entire life is about to change in the next few seconds. One moment, you're safe in the open street, and the next, you're dragged into a van, blindfolded, tied up, and left wondering if you'll ever see your family again. This isn't a movie. This is real. This is the story of how I was kidnapped and how, against all odds, I survived. What you're about to hear is not just a story, it's a nightmare I lived through. A nightmare that could happen to anyone, anywhere, without warning. This is more than just fear. It's about the strength we find when we're pushed to the very edge. I want you to step into my shoes for a moment, to feel the terror, the hopelessness, and finally the fight to survive. Because this isn't fiction. This is real. And this is how I survived a kidnapping. Everything went dark and muffled. My heart was racing so fast I thought it would explode. Panic consumed me as I tried to scream, but the sound was cut short by the cloth pressed against my mouth. My arms thrashed, my legs kicked, but the grip on me was like iron. In a matter of seconds, I wasn't on the street anymore. I was inside a moving van, thrown onto the cold floor as the doors slammed shut behind me. The smell inside was strong oil, dust, and something metallic. I heard voices arguing in hushed tones, men speaking quickly, urgently. I couldn't see their faces at first, but I could tell there were at least two of them. My body trembled uncontrollably. My brain kept screaming, "This can't be real. This can't be happening." But it was real. I had been kidnapped. Hours passed like minutes, or maybe minutes passed like hours. I couldn't even tell anymore. The vehicle rattled, turned, stopped, and started again. My wrists hurt from the ropes tied so tightly I could feel the circulation being cut off. My throat burned from holding back sobs. All I could think was, why me? Was this random? Did they know me? What did they want? Eventually, the van stopped for good. I was dragged out, blindfolded now, stumbling on uneven ground. I felt dirt under my shoes, heard crickets and night sounds. It was the countryside. They pushed me into a room, probably some old abandoned house or hideout. The air was damp, musty, and it smelled of mildew. They tied me to a chair and left me in near darkness. Fear is one thing when you're in danger for a moment, but it's another thing when it stretches into hours. Every creak, every whisper outside that room made me jump. I kept replaying the moment I was taken, wishing I could go back, wishing I'd paid more attention. But I knew regret wouldn't help me now. Survival would. The men eventually came back, their faces still covered. One of them shoved a phone in front of me, telling me to record a message. My voice cracked as I spoke into the camera, pleading for help, repeating words they fed me. That was the moment I realized they wanted ransom. I wasn't chosen at random, they had planned this. That terrified me even more. But something inside me shifted that night. Crying wouldn't get me out. Panic wouldn't free me. I needed to think, to observe, to wait for my chance. So I started watching. I listened to their patterns, the times they left the room, the sounds of their footsteps, how many keys jingled when they locked the door. I noticed which one smoked, which one drank, which one seemed more careless. Small details, but details that could save me. Days passed like that. They fed me just enough to keep me alive, bread, water, sometimes rice. My wrists and ankles ached constantly. The ropes rubbed my skin raw. My voice grew hoarse from whispering prayers into the dark. But all the while, I waited. One night, my chance finally came. The man who usually tied me up was drunk, stumbling, his hands sloppy with the knots. I pretended to stay still, but inside, I was memorizing every twist, every loosened loop. When he left, the rope wasn't as tight as usual. My heart pounded as I started working on it, inch by inch, ignoring the pain, ignoring the fear that he might come back any second. After what felt like hours, the rope loosened enough for me to slip one hand free. My wrist was swollen and bleeding, but I didn't stop. I untied the other hand, then my feet. I was free, but freedom inside that room wasn't enough. I needed to get out. The door was locked, of course. I pressed my ear against it, listening. Silence. Slowly, I moved toward the small window at the back, covered with old wooden planks. My fingers shook as I pulled at them, the wood splintering under my nails. I pushed, pulled, and finally one plank gave way. The opening wasn't big, but it was just enough. I squeezed through, my skin scraping against the wood, my clothes tearing. My feet hit the ground outside, damp earth soft beneath me. I didn't dare look back. I just ran. My legs felt weak, but adrenaline carried me. Branches cut at my face. Roots threatened to trip me, but I kept running into the night. I don't know how long I ran before I saw lights in the distance. A farmhouse, glowing faintly against the darkness. I stumbled toward it, pounding on the door with all the strength I had left. When the farmer opened it, I collapsed into his arms. Words tumbling out of me like broken glass. Kidnapped, escaped, please help. He called the police immediately. Within hours, I was surrounded by officers, paramedics, people asking questions, giving me water, checking my wounds. I was safe, but my body still shook like I was back in that dark room. It took weeks for me to sleep without waking in terror, months before I could walk alone at night without glancing over my shoulder. But here's the truth, I survived. And survival is not about being fearless. It's about being terrified and still refusing to give up. It's about noticing the details, waiting for your chance, and when it comes running with everything you've got. Surviving that night changed everything. It taught me that even in the darkest moments, even when it feels like there's no escape, you can still find the strength to fight back. If my story proves anything, it's that no matter how impossible survival may seem, there's always hope if you refuse to give up. Thank you for listening to my journey. If this story moved you, share it so others can learn the power of resilience. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more real survival stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss one. Stay safe, stay aware, and remember your will to survive is stronger than you think.